Hey, it's Thursday.
Thursday, the More Than I Do live podcast.
The More Than I Do live podcast. Wow. I'm Sherelle,
And I'm Derek.
and we are here today because we have something
Oh,
to say.
yes, we have something to say. We've been married for 16 years, in business for 8. And I think that lends some experience that we want to share with other business owners or partners in business.
Absolutely. So our podcast is called More Than I Do, and it's called More Than I Do in quotations because it's about being married and in business, as my husband talked about. So many business owners and couples are in business together and married, and we want to do our part of what we've learned over these 16 years to be able to share some of our experiences to hopefully help you in marriage and in business.
Yes, it's not for the faint of heart, but it can be done.
Absolutely, 100%. It can be done. So one of the things that we want to talk about today is keeping the main thing.
The main thing.
The main thing. And you may say, oh my gosh, what does that mean?
That means whatever the core of your relationship or the core of your business, that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we get so discombobulated and all over the place, and you kind of lose sight of where you're going or what you're trying to accomplish. So we're going to talk about keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yeah. So you may ask us, when we came up with this topic, Derek's person was like, what's the main thing in marriage? Like, I got business down, but what's the main thing in marriage? So we wanted to start there in marriage first because I think that's an important and sacred, whether you were in business and then got married or you were married and then were in business, being married, I think is just, it's important. It's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to start with marriage first, just because I can. So when we talk about the main thing, getting married, we had certain things that stipulations, I could say, or rules or foundation. Because when we talk about the main thing, we wanted you to go back to your goals, your mission, who you are. Think about when you were first getting married and some of the things that you were looking at then. And surely we have grown over the 16 years, but there's a couple of things at our core that were like non-negotiables for us, I'll say. There were main things for us that we wanted to make sure that we kept as the main thing throughout our marriage. So can you think of one?
One of them was Friday night is date night. When we were courting, do they still say courting?
I don't know, but you just dated yourself.
It's okay.
You're already taken. It's all right. It's all right.
But when we were dating, we would make sure that we went out on Friday nights. And so Friday night is date night. Even to today, 16 years in, Friday night is date night. Now, date night kind of changed where we're not always going out, but it's still date night.
Yes. So that means put away the phone, put away the computer, don't schedule anything after a certain time on Friday because it is date night.
That's right.
And this gentleman here will get upset if you ruin date night.
So I don't want date night ruined. One reason she probably doesn't know, but the reality is football season, Sundays, I want all day Sunday to myself to watch football. So I need to make sure I get things right Friday night on date night so I can have a Sunday by myself.
So I can say, okay, baby, it's all right. It's okay.
That's right.
Now I know the secret. I know the secret sauce.
The audience pulls it out of me.
So, but really, no, honestly, when you think about your life and think about when you first got married and how before you got married, you guys courted each other. And even when you first got married, how you kind of did things together and life, whether it's kids, business, careers, whatever it is, life kind of tears you apart in the sense of you're going one way, he's going another way. Even if you're in business together, doesn't mean that you're still together. There are plenty of days that people say, well, how is Derek? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see him since this morning when I woke up. And I will probably won't see him till late tonight when I get ready to go to bed. But date night allows us to find a place of connection every single week, no matter what.
No matter what, it's important to stay connected to your spouse, guys. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I look at a lot of people who are madly in love and then they go and have children or build a business,
Yeah.
and they forget about the romance side of marriage. And once that child leaves the house, they have nothing in common anymore,
Yeah.
or they've drifted apart, and then that shows up in divorce. And one simple thing is making sure that you find time to spend time with your spouse, even if it's children or kids, because you guys are a team of one.
That's right. That's right. We're one.
We're one.
At the end of the day, we're one. We're a united front, even for the kids. United front.
Yes.
But it could be, you could even be taking care of parents or family or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's just being creative, getting creative. You know, I believe in having family time. When the kids were growing up, we don't have kids ourselves, but we raised kids.
Mhm.
And when they were growing up, Wednesday night was family night.
Yep.
And so we would have games. We make sure everybody was at the table as they were getting older, because everybody was off on their different places. There were no cell phones, right? You remember that rule? No one had a cell phone, and you had to participate in whatever cheesy game we came up with.
That's right.
And sometimes it was just having good conversation, just delving into, especially as they got older, we just started having good conversation and allowing them to ask us questions that maybe they didn't have time to ask, and us making sure that they were good and in the right place. But that didn't negate, they knew Friday night
was date night.
They knew from day one.
Day one.
Friday night is date night. So it's kind of a fend for yourself night, pizza night, whatever you want to call it night, because that's our time together. And even now when they call and they realize it's Friday, they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot it's date night. You know, I'll call you back later. I'll call you tomorrow, unless it's just something urgent. And you know, we're not so flexible where that doesn't change every once in a while, but it's not often. Yeah. And I'll give you an example. Even when I went to LA, I in podcasts, I talk about living in LA last year. I lived all last year in LA, which goes into our next thing. And we got creative for date night because we still had Friday date night. Yeah. 2 coasts away, East Coast and West Coast. And we had to figure out how to make date night happen and make it still be special to keep connected to each other, being on 2 different coasts.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing how you get into certain routines sometimes. And I was just in a routine, and she was in LA, and I was like, well, it's Friday night. She's 3 hours behind me. This is ridiculous. But what I found myself doing is actually still going out, going to restaurants. I was by myself, but it was okay. Find a table or sit at the bar, place a phone call, and have her in my ear or on the FaceTime or whatever for a few minutes, just to still say, hey, babe, it's day.
Or cook at home.
Like, that's right.
One of us, depending on the time, would be cooking or whatever, and we would just be there with each other and just have a good time, you know, and figure it out that way. Yeah. That leads into, I think that's a great segue into 2 of our other main things that we deal with in our marriage. Okay. And the first one is we don't stop either one of us from doing whatever's on our heart. Mm-hmm. If it's on your heart, and we're Christians, we believe in God. Mm-hmm. And so if it's something that's really on your heart and driven, even if it doesn't make sense, we're like, I can't tell you not to do it.
Yeah. That's a real interesting one for me, because this one here, she has a heart of gold. She's a big giver. And while I give, I also am looking at saving and the resource and providing for my house. And so it's a delicate balance, because sometimes I look at her and say, gosh, you just want to give everything away. You want to give the whole house away and have us living on a box.
Yes.
But, you know, I found that I was a good balance to just have a voice of reason in her ear, because a lot of times she would give so unselfishly and constantly that she would, I wouldn't say forget, but almost a second thought to take care of herself as well, or take care of us.
Yeah, and so you were the balance for me, and I think that's why opposites attract, right? So that you're not leaning all the way to one way. And I think I've got a little bit of balance now. I still try to give away. I don't try to give away the baby with the bathwater. I try to keep the baby, maybe just the bathwater, but
it happens because you sometimes it's not even just giving to charities and things like that. Sometimes it's giving to family. Sometimes family pulls on you because you are that constant strength to help them through as well. And so sometimes that can become a strain on you, and you don't even realize it till after the fact.
Yeah. So hey, yin and yang, we help each other out with strengths and weaknesses. We cover them for each other.
That's right.
So that was the first one. Then the second one that goes along, I think that we displayed really like showed it in me going to LA is we don't make the other person do anything they don't want to do. That was established from the beginning. I'm not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do. So he didn't want to go to LA, or he may not want to go to an event, or I may not want to go to an event with him, or I may not want to do something that I may not want to sit down all day and watch football on Sunday. Guess what? It's okay, because then that's my time or my time with friends or whatever that time is. But it allows, no one likes to, I don't know about you, but I don't like to be forced to do things that I don't like.
That's right.
And I'm not a happy person if I'm forced to do things I don't like. Now, that's a little bit different than voluntold, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Whole nother show.
I have a list of voluntold stuff that I still have to do.
But at the end of the day, he has fun and he enjoys it, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know about that.
but then the next thing in that list also is we said we wouldn't lie. We wouldn't have each other lie for each other.
No,
we don't lie for each other.
We don't lie for each other.
No.
Even going to church and they'll say, "Well, where's Brother Derek? He's in the bed."
Yep.
And they look at me like, "Did she just say he in the bed?" That's where he is.
That's where
he wanted to be in the bed today. I mean, why am I gonna lie? Like, oh, he really wanted to be here. Oh my gosh, it's hot. No, we ain't going through all of that. No.
Yeah,
We're two grown people. Make our own decisions.
I'm grown enough to make the decision. She's grown enough not to have to lie for a grown man's decision.
That's it. And we're grown enough to take the consequences for whatever those decisions are.
That is it.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So those are like 4 things that I could think of. That was 4.
You said one twice. We talked about not giving. You know what? It doesn't even matter. I'm your friend.
I'm your friend. Something we just learned from another couple.
Yeah, another couple.
Yes. Shout out to Dexter and his wife.
That was Terrence, Oliver, and Miss Greta.
It was both of them.
Oh, Dexter said that
too.
too?
Yes.
See? Okay.
Yes, and Terrence, Oliver, and Greta.
And Dexter, Scott, and
I can't think of his wife's name.
Oh,
Mrs. Scott. I know.
Yeah, Mrs. Scott.
Okay, we love you though.
But the reality is, when you see each other fighting, sometimes you gotta realize, you know what? I'm your friend.
I'm not the enemy here.
Not the enemy. We're the same side.
We're on the same side.
I love it.
It's hilarious because it makes us laugh every time. It makes you just stop and pause and think, what am I fussing about? Is this worth fussing about or not?
What's the difference between 3 points or 4 points?
It
doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the replay will let us know.
It will. Let the record show.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. So we talked about being on the married side.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other core thing that we have on the married side that we kind of make. Oh, we didn't talk about this one.
Well.
It's the main one from day one of us dating.
From day one, don't start nothing you can't keep up.
If you ain't gonna keep it up for the rest of my life, dude,
don't start.
Don't start it at all.
That was an interesting, funny one. That's actually how date night got started.
Yes.
Because she looked at me. She said, "All right, we've been going out every Friday for a couple weeks now. Don't start nothing you can't keep up." And that was actually a challenge that started. Date night.
That is.
Yeah, that's the challenge that started.
Yeah, but and now, even because new things happen, and we know some things are temporary, right? Something that needs to happen really quickly. But you know those things that they just kind of start doing, or you start doing, ladies. don't start now. You can't keep up now, because then you have the expectation, and then they're looking like, well, what happened? Well, what's going on?
One prime thing. So a couple years ago, once I got laid off of my corporate job and went full time into the business, I started cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And now I am the cook of the house.
Don't start now. You can't.
Don't
keep
start
up.
now. You can. And I have to be honest. This last week, probably week and a half maybe, I just haven't felt like cooking. And so, don't start now. You can't keep up. We go out. We're doing the.
Wait a minute.
Okay, stop. We go out, grab our food.
Yeah.
We love food. So
yes.
We kind of do the restaurant thing, especially with the things that they're going through in this time.
Right.
So
we want to support
them.
Yeah, especially locally owned restaurants. Yeah. Absolutely.
But two, I don't know if it's an early birthday gift or something, but she's actually cooked. She cooked for me this weekend, which was amazing.
I can cook. I cooked the first 8 years of our marriage.
You did, but
I
you hadn't in a while.
I have not.
With projects and work being so busy.
Only during bets. Yeah. If I lose a bet, I cook.
That's true.
Then I cook whatever he wants if I lose a bet.
So she didn't lose a bet and she cooked, and that was a great surprise. I really enjoyed that. If I didn't tell you thank you, which I'm positive I did, I'll tell you again. Thank you.
Thank you, babe. That's so sweet. Being in this time, I love to cook, but I like to cook when I have time. And usually I was super busy, in and out, not having a whole lot of time. And so I hated cooking. So when he decided that he liked to cook, that worked for me, because I like to take time to cook. I cook my love into the food when I cook, and I have a good time. He can get in there and just and keep it moving. And I'm not that kind of cook. So yes, don't start something that you can't keep up. But in all of these things that we talked about, there's one thing that goes throughout all of them, and that's love. Mm-hmm. So just like he said, he told me, he says, I really don't feel like cooking this week. I said, you know what? That's okay. This weekend, I got you. And I didn't make one meal. I made 2 meals in the time that I made one, because I prepped 2 things. And so we've had like 3 days of actual meals. And then at the end of the week, now we're going out and eating again. Mm-hmm. But I say all of that, not to toot my horn, not to toot his horn, but to say at the end of all of these main things, love is what holds everything together. Because just because he's going to keep it up doesn't mean that there's times where I can step in and help. Sure. Doesn't mean that there's times that I can bend a little and go with him. Doesn't mean that there's times that I may disagree, but agree anyway and go towards whatever it is. That is what marriage and love and sacrifice and compromise is about. Yep. But we know what the rules are. So our last rule, so everybody's going to say, well, wait a minute, if he could do whatever he want to do and you're not going to stop him and you're not going to make him do anything that he doesn't want to do, somebody's going to throw in there, what about cheating? We even have a rule for that. You remember our rule for that?
Actually, I don't, because I don't even think about that.
Neither one of us does, but I was just thinking from the audience perspective.
Okay, that's fair.
Neither, because somebody's going to take it there. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know. Everybody got different lives.
True.
So although I know I don't want anybody else.
I don't want anybody else.
But we made this pact when we first got married. We always, number one, took divorce off the table. That was another main thing.
Yep.
Divorce is off first, because if divorce isn't off the table, then it becomes an attractive option when things get hard.
Yep.
So take divorce off the table. Now you have to work through things. And there's certain things that we agree, nobody should be abused and different things like that. But just working through hard things, period, that come with marriage, divorce is not the first option. Right. But even if it comes to something like cheating, and I thought that this would be great to talk about just a little bit as we segue into the business piece.
Okay.
We agreed that whoever cheated, just know it's okay. We're the grown people. I tell him all the time, if you don't want me no more, I'm a grown woman. I can pack my stuff. Don't worry about it. But if you cheat, pack your stuff and just send the mortgage check. Right?
I remember that conversation now. Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. Just pack your stuff and just know that you pay the mortgage. So whoever goes outside the marriage is responsible for the mortgage. You don't live here anymore. Just know that you don't.
Yeah. Okay.
And it goes both ways.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's fair.
yeah, it is.
You think it's fair?
Hey,
I don't know. It depends.
it depends. I cut the check now anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Hey, we both cut the check. What are you talking about? Okay, yes, you do. You actually literally physically write the check. You do. You do. Me putting my business in the street. No, just messing. Just messing with you.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, you do physically cut the check and go pay the bill.
Anyway, moving on.
But moving on, so he just continue to do that somewhere else. The difference is your stuff won't be here.
My stuff won't be here, and I'll probably be stroking a mortgage or rent somewhere else.
Call you the rent man. But we can laugh about this because of the relationship that we have, right?
That's right.
If you can't laugh at yourself and you can't have the serious conversations, then there's something wrong in your marriage.
That's right.
Because you guys have to be able to be a team.
And you got to be able to talk about these type of things, and those are serious items. And sometimes laughing helps get you through some serious times and serious conversations.
Absolutely, 100%. So as we're talking about being a team of one, let's move to the business side.
Okay.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Ooh, main thing. So in business, that comes down to look at your business and really figure out what are you good at. That's really where it boils down at. I remember when we started my local CFO, our business, we were doing bookkeeping, we were doing taxes, we were doing budgeting, we were doing forecasting, we were doing strategy planning, we were doing all of these things. And what we realized is, we really started this for the latter items, the budgeting, forecasting, and strategy, not necessarily the bookkeeping and the taxes. And so we realized that relatively quickly, 2 years in or so, and we took that immediately off the table. Why? It's human nature. Anything that you want to do, you're going to do that first.
And you're going to do it very well.
And you're going to do it very well.
Yeah.
The things you don't want to do, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it somewhat well, but you're going to push it off to the last minute or even be late doing it. And it makes no sense not to be 100% in your business of what you're doing. And so that's one of the things of keeping the main thing we did.
When you talk about that, it wasn't that we were incapable of doing the other things.
No.
It wasn't that the other things weren't important to be done as services. It's just that number one from a profit margin standpoint, they were on the lower end for us. And then number two, because that's not really where our time was best spent, we found ourselves dragging and just, oh my gosh, not wanting to just like you said, putting it off to the end, which means that we were spending more time than we needed to, which would mean more hours weren't going to the things that needed to be taken care of.
Less billable hours for time actually work.
Less billable hours. Brain, think about mindset, that space that's being taken up, and not just the space of getting the activity done, but the space of, oh my gosh, and all of those things. You can't process other things that you need to be processing, which means that your business can't move as fast as it needs to move. It can't grow, and you begin to kind of get stagnated. And that's exactly what was happening to us, that we were stagnating ourselves because we saw we can make some money here, but all money isn't good money.
That's right. And we're not belittling bookkeeping.
We love you.
We love you. It is the foundation
and tax preparers.
It's the foundation of any business.
100%.
And like I said, it's not like I can't do it. I have a degree. I have a master's in accounting. I can do bookkeeping, counting in my sleep.
Yeah.
But it's just time consuming that it's not a passion for me.
And it's not where you're best served.
It's not where I'm best
right
served.
now in the business. And so we say that to say, because most people say, oh, well, I can do it, so I should do it.
You can do a lot of things.
No, just because you can do something, just because it could be a product or a service, doesn't necessarily mean it should be a product or service.
Yeah.
A lot of people build a business, and when we talk to them, They've been in their business for a while, 5-10 years or more.
Yep.
And they're like unsatisfied and unhappy and kind of in this stagnant state where they're not moving, but they're not quite sure what to do and don't know what's happening and all of this stuff. And what happened really is that they chased after the money. If you look at your business and you're one of those people that we talked about, just self-select yourself. You got to tell us. Look at what you're doing. And I want you to go back to the core of when you started the business.
That's right.
The main
reason you started the business.
Why did you start the business? And what did you envision for the business to be? And where is it? I guarantee you it's nowhere near. You may be offering similar kind of services, but it is not in the way that you wanted to offer it. It's not with the clientele that you wanted to offer it with. And it's not the business that you had in your sight to build. That's because it's so easy for us to veer off track chasing money.
That's right. My first probably 8 clients were bookkeeping clients, but we opened ourselves as a CFO type service. But that's the type of clientele that began to come, and I began to take it, and I still get requests of that today.
Yeah. And not only that, look at your marketing. What is your marketing say? Because our marketing had bookkeeping in it and accounting in it.
It did.
And we've had to change that around. Even our website had bookkeeping and accounting in it. So we've had to change that around so it gets very clear about who we are and what we serve. Why are we saying that? What are you putting out in your marketing? If you're getting the same type of clientele that you don't want, but you repeatedly get it over and over, guarantee it's in what you're saying and how you're marketing yourself. Are two big ways, and the products or services that you're offering may all be ways of bringing in the wrong clientele. We were talking to some clients recently, and they own a store. And we said, you don't just own a store. You're not like every other store. The people that come in are family. The people, you treat them in a certain way. The products that you buy for them are for them to be healthy and to nurture who they are. Are you saying that in your marketing, or are you just saying I'm a store?
Yeah,
like everybody else.
They are a specialty boutique.
Yeah.
And that's what should be in their marketing that, they're kind of missing out. I go back real quick to how our marketing was with the bookkeeping and accounting.
Yeah.
We do what humans do.
Yeah.
We think we can if we start you here, we can take you here.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
But and we do that with people.
Yeah.
We think we can take this person here and make them whoever.
Get them all the way to the goal that's way up here.
Yeah.
If you're come for bookkeeping, then you're only interested in bookkeeping. Every so maybe once a year, there's somebody that maybe we could use somewhere else. But guess what? If we started off talking, you came to bookkeeping, but we started talking about our overall service, then we had a more chance of you buying the overall service. And our overall service includes bookkeeping. Yeah. See the difference? We don't just offer bookkeeping by itself. Say that to look at your services.
Yep.
Go back to the main thing. So we had to go back to our core and create our services and our products around what we were really there for.
So tell them the core. Go ahead.
The core of
our services. The core of our services.
What is it?
Business strategy.
I'm just messing with him.
Go ahead
then. Business strategy, budgeting, forecasting is actually being a fractional CFO. The core service is before you get to all of that, because all of that is included. It's being a fractional CFO. At the end of the day, it's being a partner to a CEO, to the executive director, board, whoever it is that's running things, to be able to come alongside them who have an operational vision, to have a financial vision, and partner with them together so that the company can walk along together. The operation is the what, the finances are the how it gets done.
Yep.
So in that are higher level executive financial management services that we offer. But when you're dealing with small businesses, bookkeeping is sometimes needed. So we have a package that includes bookkeeping. We don't do the bookkeeping. They ain't having it here. but it gets done. We make
Okay.
sure it gets done and gets done well. So when you look, we say all of that not to sell you our services,
No.
but to say to you, when you're looking at what you're doing, what's the main thing? What's the core?
Yeah. What's the core of your service?
And then, are you being too technical? Are you being so technical, or are you giving the customer what they need on the other side? Not the technical pieces, not the how you're going to do it, but what they need on the other side for your services. I always say, think of yourself as a doctor. If you're keeping it at the core and you're the doctor, then what are they coming to see you for?
Yeah.
And being able to articulate that.
Yeah, I laugh when I say that, because I remember when I first started business, all of my answers were technical answers. I would tell you about debits and credits. I would tell you about debt to equity ratios. I would tell you all this technical stuff. And business owners would give me this glass over look, because the reality is they don't care how you do it. They just care that you're going to solve this pain problem that I have. Same thing with the doctor. You have a ache in your leg. The doctor can tell you all the things they're going to do, all the medicines that they're going to treat you with. You don't really care about that. You just want this pain gone. And so you're going to do whatever they tell you to do. So a lot of times when you're too technical in your business, selling your services, your clients get a glaze over and they don't feel connected with you, and you'll lose the sale.
But not only for your clients, you need to know. Not just the technical side. We know, okay, you're the expert, you could do that. But if it's the main thing, how do you keep the main thing, being very clear about what it is and what you're bringing? Now, the third thing in keeping the main thing is understanding your profit margins.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I slid that one in there. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss at you. My bad. But since I already cussed, I'm going to go ahead and continue. You know, a lot of people are thinking that they're making money or wondering why they're not making money and all of these different things. And they have no idea what their profit margins are. Like what you're selling something for versus what you paid for it versus what you pay for, you know, the labor labor materials that come out for it. What is that profit margin? What are you actually making? Is that product or service actually making a profit or not?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we just go, oh, I could be a clothing store. Say I sell scarves. And then I'm like, oh, but we can sell this water and we can sell cell phones. And, you know, people who wear scarves, they like notebooks and they like pens and they like little cups that have little cute things on it. Yeah. And I've so moved away from the main thing. I'm not saying that you can't have supplementary items, but when things get tough and when you're looking at growing the business, you have to definitely know what's our main thing, because I don't want to be a tchotchke store. I don't want to be a store of just things unless that was my main thing, just to be random things. I want to be a scarf store and I want to add value to my clients, maybe with things that go on their scarves or rings or hang their scarves up or different ways to display their scarves and classes on how to wear their scarves and how to change your scarf into a shirt and a dress and all these other things.
Which she can do. I've seen it done. I've seen it done.
I wasn't going to tell all that. You're telling my business again.
But just to piggyback on that, we had a client not too long ago. They had 3 main services. Yeah. The first service was a really high profile service. The one that said, yes, I am so-and-so, and I do so-and-so. Mm-hmm. And then they had this medium service, and then they had this other service. And you know, I called it the ugly duckling mm-hmm. service, but the profit margin tripled the I do this, you know, and once we showed them the numbers.
The profit margin tripled on the ugly duckling?
On the ugly duckling.
Wow.
The ugly duckling.
I remember that.
They didn't want to do that service at all.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make them feel like they were high and mighty, I guess the word.
But it actually was the main thing of why they were in business.
But it was the main thing. And once we showed him the numbers, he began to do that ugly duckling service. and that guy is making money hand over fist right now.
Yeah.
Hand over
Because
fist.
he got really clear about why am I in business, keeping the main thing. Now, the last thing we want to talk about in keeping the main thing is when you are very clear on what you're in business about and what you do very well, now it's easy to make decisions on yes or no. If you bring them back to the main thing. And that's in the main thing being why you're in business and the plan that you have, the roadmap or plan that you have for where you want the business to go. When you have that and you're very clear, you're easily able to say to opportunities, yes, that's a great opportunity, but it's not the great opportunity for me. You know, we talked to some clients recently and I was talking to them about shipping out of state. I was like, have you thought about shipping out of state? And she very clearly said to me, she says, you know, I don't think I want to be that involved in shipping out of state. The hassle of it and everything, I don't even know if I want my products to go that far because she manufactures her own products. I don't even know if I want them to go that far. I think I want to keep it small and local. That's fine. That's fine. But she's very clear on what she wants. So why would I start adding shipping and all these other things that are going to give me nightmares and it's going to take away? Because it's not just about the money. It's also about the peace. It's also about the time you get, the valuable time you get to spend with friends and family and yourself, that self-care that he talked about earlier today. It's about all of that too, not just about money. So you want to make sure you're building a business that's what you like and what you want. And that's profitable at the same time.
And to have that time for self-care is very important, guys, because what we're seeing in the market right now is there's a lot of business owners that are getting in the age of 65 and 70 and 75, and they want to really pass the business off to their kids, but the kids just saw all the headaches and all the grunting and things like that they saw as they were growing up, and
100%.
they want no parts of that because you didn't show them the satisfaction side or the gratification of being in business and the reason why being in business. And so then when you can't pass it to someone, and if you didn't build it correctly, it kind of stops when you stop. And I know you didn't start your business for that. You started your business to build a legacy that carries on beyond your life. But you got to start
generational wealth.
You got to set things up properly for sustainability and growth.
There's no sense of spending 20, 30 years in a business and then having to close it because you can't sell it or you can't pass it down to someone. And income stops.
That's right.
At the same time.
So then if you didn't plan for retirement, well, you still have to run the business when you really thought you should be retired.
Right, when you want to sit down. So, we thought it was great to just come and bring you some things of keeping the main thing. So the question to you is, in your marriage, in your business, are you focused on the main thing? Do you even know what the main thing is?
Ooh, that's right. Do you know?
If you don't, here's a great time to have conversation with your spouse and colleague.
You touch my hand, I'm calling HR.
I know, right? I am HR. Good spouse and colleague, and have those conversations. There may be some unwritten things that you didn't even know were the main thing. But to continue to grow, to move forward and have a successful marriage, to have a successful business, you want to know what those main things are.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It is important, and it keeps you on the right track again to make decisions really quickly, yes or no, because if it doesn't fall in line with what the main thing is, then maybe that's not what you need to do at this time.
I just go back to that. Don't start what you won't keep up. It'll quickly get you to yes or no. Am I gonna? No. He made this mistake of telling me when we first got married, you shouldn't have to pump gas. I'll pump gas for you. Okay. I mean, I do it from time to time. But if I don't feel like, or it's rainy or something like that.
Derek, I need gas. Okay.
I love this man.
Because I know what I started.
And he doesn't complain about it, right? Because he know what he started.
I know what I started.
So in that, at the end of the day, remember this though, whether it's marriage or business, LOVE is the line that holds it all together.
Yes, it is.
With that said, we love you guys, and we thank you for tuning in today for the More Than I Do Virtual Live podcast. I'm Sherelle James.
And I'm Derek James. Make sure you like us and join us and conversate with us at morethanIdo.life. Again, morethanIdo.life. And I want to also send a shout out to every.black. Again, that's every.black. .black is the new .com.
Yes.
Yes. Jamie Davis and his group are doing some phenomenal things in the world of entrepreneurship. And so we want to thank him for hosting us on his platform as well.
All right. Until next time,
you
guys keep the main thing the main thing. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hello.